Hey there, and welcome back to my channel. Jelena Ostrovska here from JelenaOstrovska.com. Super excited to see you here. This is the best place for coaches, consultants, and entrepreneurs who want to dominate on social media. And in this video, I'm going to share with you my updated social media growth for 2021. I'm going to lay down my entire strategy as far as what I'm doing, which platforms, and I'm also going to share with you the big shifts that have happened in the social media world in the last 12 months, because there have been major shifts going, and if you haven't noticed, I'm definitely going to share all of them with you in this video, so be sure to stick around all the way until the end. I'm also going to share with you how you can maximize the content that you're creating, so definitely stick around all the way throughout this entire video because you are not going to want to miss that. And there's also a big update that I have done inside of my business as far as the systems that I use. So if you are curious how I organize and systematize all the processes that I have going on inside of my business, I'm definitely going to record a video if there is a demand for that. So drop a comment down below if that's the kind of video that you want to see. Alright, so now let's get into the strategy. So what is actually working, what is not working? Before I dive into the entire strategy, let me share with you what I'm kind of letting go in 2021, the things that I'm not really going to be using. So the number one is I'm no longer including Facebook personal profile in my content strategy, and I know it's crazy because that's the way that I have built my business primarily over the last 5-6 years. And if you're somebody who has been using a Facebook profile and you see a major difference and a major shift, you are not alone, right? So I totally have seen this shift myself, and it's pretty interesting the way coronavirus and the whole recession and everything else that has been going on in 2020, how it has affected everything, especially on Facebook. And I do feel like Facebook is being more used for personal use rather than for business. A lot of advertisers have been going away from Facebook because of all the changes and the ad costs going up, and elections definitely played a big part. So because of that, I'm not really including Facebook personal profile because there's no scalability in that. You can still use it, and I'm still going to be on a Facebook profile. So if that's where you're seeing this video, maybe I promote it on my personal profile and you're like, what the heck? But I'm still going to be promoting my content. I'm still going to be repurposing content on Facebook, but I really doubt there's going to be a lot of original content on Facebook, and I'm kind of going to be using it more for personal use, and still to go and network inside of Facebook groups. One thing that I'm not letting go of in 2021 is Facebook groups. I do feel like these are really, really powerful, and you can not only build your own community, which I do have my own Facebook group. I'm going to link that down below, so you can join. But again, I'm not even making a separate content strategy for my group. I'm going to share with you in this video how I'm going to be using the group. Here's another platform that I have attempted to try this year. It's called Pinterest. I'm sure a lot of you know about it. Pinterest is incredibly powerful for bloggers, for honestly anybody who wants to get traffic for e-commerce. The only problem that I personally have with Pinterest is how time consuming it can be. Now, there are a lot of people who are going to tell you, no, it only takes 15 minutes a day. You just have to use this software and you have to use that. I mean, there's still a lot of creation that you have to do yourself, especially if you don't outsource, because like I said, there's a lot of gurus that say, oh, it's not that hard, you can do this yourself. Not necessarily. I found myself being kind of stuck in the image creation, in the scheduling, writing out those captions, doing the keyword research. So while it is possible for you to do it by yourself, but you're probably not going to be able to do a whole lot of other strategies. So especially if you're somebody like me who has a YouTube channel and you have Facebook group and you have an email list and you have Instagram and Twitter, for example, so that's just not going to be very time efficient for you. So if you do want to use Pinterest, which I still do, right? So that's something on my list for 2021. But the way I'm going to be using that is I'm just going to outsource that to somebody who's already knowledgeable in the area, and just basically outsource that out and hire a contractor from Upwork or Fiverr or any other place, or find somebody on Facebook. So personally, if you only have a blog and maybe you're on Instagram, I would say you may be able to manage it yourself, but I just found when people tell me, oh, you have to post 40 or 50 or 100 or 150 images per day, I'm just like, who's ever gonna have the time for that? Just to give you perspective, 100 posts a day on Pinterest, yes, you can repurpose, yes, you can use your existing content, yes, you can reshare Instagram posts and Facebook posts there and, kind of cross-pollinate different platforms. But the problem is, if you post 100 posts a day on Pinterest, that's 3,000 images per month. Like, who's ever gonna have the time for that? I'm full-time in my business, I have 24 hours a day, and yet I still do not have the time for that. So just something to keep in mind, you do have to be very devoted to Pinterest. And now another platform which I did start using this year, but I just kind of stopped because I don't really enjoy it, is called LinkedIn. So I know there's a lot of people who are migrating from Facebook to LinkedIn right now, or to Clubhouse, or to any of those other apps. I'm not personally a huge fan of LinkedIn, just because ever since the pandemic hit officially in March, it has been kind of a weird place. Personally, that's how I feel. It has not been the same. A lot of people have been posting about jobs, and there have been a lot of conversations about COVID and about everything else. And honestly, I've already been seeing a lot of it on Facebook, and I just didn't really want to go and see it on yet another platform, right? So that's my personal take on it. If the only thing that I'm doing on LinkedIn is I do get some inbound messages from different companies, and there's some companies that do find me like magazines and some blogs that would want to do like outreach and connect with you and offer you publicity or things like that. That's probably the only thing that I would respond. If they discover my brand there, that's fine, but I'm only using LinkedIn to repurpose my content. I'm not creating original content there. And if you think about it, it's really challenging to grow an audience on multiple different platforms at the same time, especially if you're going to be doing outreach on LinkedIn and on Instagram and on Twitter and on Facebook, and then there's Clubhouse right now. So it's not a good idea to be everywhere. So that's my personal opinion. You can be everywhere, but you legit would need 48 hours a day. So now let's talk about the new content workflow that I put together for my business, and that I would also recommend for you to create something similar. So my main platform right now is becoming YouTube. It's not even my website, it's not even my blog, it is YouTube, because I do still believe in the power of YouTube. There is a lot of organic search, and people are home, so they're naturally on YouTube. So they're naturally searching things, and they're searching things way more frequently right now compared to years before. So, and not to mention, since you're home, or if you maybe quit your job this year and you do want to turn somewhere, I do see a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of coaches are moving towards YouTube, so I would highly recommend for you to do the same. So, and here's the kind of workflow that I have for YouTube as far as content strategy goes. So, something that I'm focusing on more this year is weekly consistent content, just like always before, right? So I'm putting up one high value packed video just like this, talking head, some, graphics and some images and things like that, and maybe like some screen shares that are going to be in different videos. I'm also going to start doing YouTube interviews, so which are going to be starting at like 2 videos per month, and if there's more demand and if there's more speakers that I'm going to interview, there's going to be more videos like that. And the third aspect that I'm also going to be focusing on is YouTube Shorts. So that's yet another way for you to create content, and that's basically the way that we are moving towards, is us creating short form content, and you probably already see this trend. So YouTube Shorts are 60 seconds, TikTok is 60 seconds, now we have Instagram Reels as well, and then whatever is called on Snapchat, there's like Snapcode or something like that, I can't remember. So we really, as a community, as a whole world, we do move more into the fast-paced content. People just want to keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. Why do you think so many people have been on TikTok? 60-second video clips that are vertical have been a major hit. So, and YouTube decided to follow the path, and that's something that I would recommend for you to create as a creator as well. And here's why. The thing with YouTube Shorts, and that's kind of what I love, there is Not a whole lot of creators making those right now, so it's very, again, newbie friendly, and they're short, right? So obviously they're 60 seconds, and in 2020 I visited my friend and we knocked out like several YouTube shorts in a day because they're so easy to record, right? So you knock out a whole bunch of videos and then you have content for the full week or even more, right? So you are able to create more content and get more eyeballs and potentially get more, like you have a bigger potential on your YouTube shorts to go viral rather than your regular video to go viral. So the only downside of YouTube shorts is the watch time on those is not going to be counted towards the 4,000 hours that you need in order to get monetized on YouTube, but still, you still attract subscribers, and those subscribers are still going to be sticking around on your content, and they're still going to go and watch your other long form content. So it is smart to start using them, especially if you're somebody who's really busy. Now, you may be thinking, well, that seems like a lot of work just for YouTube alone. Now, hear me out. So YouTube is going to be simple for you if you start batching your content, right? So if you sit down and plan all of your content, you record all in one go, which I actually do have a video right here on how I record 10 videos in a single day and how you can do the same thing. I mean, even if you record 4 videos in a single day, that's 4 videos for the next month if you publish 1 video a week, and then you do, let's say, 2 YouTube shorts, right? And YouTube shorts literally take a minute, so, or even less. They may even be 30 seconds, so you can repurpose them into Instagram Reels. So if you focus on being more efficient with your time and actually planning ahead, you are going to win in the YouTube game. Now, the next platform is actually a social media platform, not a search engine. So I'm switching my focus, like I mentioned earlier, from Facebook personal profile and moving more towards Instagram. So, and here's why. So I've had a love and hate relationship with Instagram for a long time. However, I mean, yes, it is owned by Mark Zuckerberg, so there's not a whole lot of changes compared to Facebook. However, I personally have seen a big change as far as Instagram goes, because I do see way better content on Instagram than I see on Facebook. On Facebook, I don't know if you've noticed, every other post is about vaccines, about COVID, about elections, about economy, something else. Instagram, I do actually see good content from creators that I want to see, right? So I just feel like on Instagram, people are a little bit more visually oriented, if you will, so they do put some effort into videos, they do put some effort into actually good freaking content. So that's why I'm shifting there. Now, as far as the actual content strategy, my strategy is at least 3 posts per week. So I'm not trying to, do daily posts or anything like that. I've done that before and it is kind of tiring. It's better for you to focus on community growth and audience growth rather than just pumping out content mindlessly. I would recommend for you to create more value-based content rather than just, daily content and hoping that you're going to grow. I would much rather you focus on actually engaging and focusing on the outbound engagement with your audience, like going into hashtags and going into your followers and going and checking out the people that are watching your stories and things like that. So I am going to have a more detailed video on the outbound strategy for engagement on Instagram. So definitely hit that subscribe button if you want to get notified about that, and hit that bell sign down below as well. But outbound engagement, I do feel like on Instagram is a must, because you do have to be spending the time on the platform. Again, this is something that can be outsourced down the line. So if you need help with that, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram or by my email. I'm going to link everything down below in the description box, but this is going to be the key. So now, as far as the actual content goes, so like I said, it's better to post 3-4 posts throughout the week, spread them out so they do have some, life on that shelf on Instagram, so they get picked up by the algorithm, and you also go out and engage. Now, as far as what is it you're supposed to be posting, the big hit right now, like I said, is fast-paced content, aka Instagram Reels. So keep in mind that they are 30 seconds. So let's say if you are going to be recording a YouTube short that's going to be 30 seconds, you can repurpose that into an Instagram Reel. So you're not really going to be creating new content. You're taking what you already have and you're putting it onto a different platform for a different audience, right? So now Instagram Reels are huge. They have a really big reach, way bigger reach than anything else. And honestly, if you are not creative as far as making graphics in Canva and anything like that, and you still want to do 3 posts a week, go for Instagram Reels. So you can batch Instagram Reels also once or twice per month and have everything done for the entire month ahead. Now, another type of content is carousels. So highly recommend those because Instagram is still pushing them. You know, it's better to have, you know, 2 to 3 images than just one static image. So you can take your YouTube content, you can take even your Instagram Reels and repurpose them into a carousel and make those, you know, graphics on Canva, right? So that's something I would recommend for you to do. So it's better to post that than just one image. Now, another kind of content, don't forget about video marketing. Again, as you can tell from this whole content strategy so far, there's a lot of video, you know, YouTube Shorts, I mean, YouTube in general, Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories as well. I'm going to talk about stories here in just a second, but Instagram Live and Instagram TV is another place for you to build your, you know, your relationship with the audience. So Instagram Live is not necessarily going to be for the audience growth, but more for the community, you know, nurturing, the same as Instagram Stories. So now Instagram Lives can be more than 60 minutes. So if you are a talker, you can totally do that. So that's something to keep in mind, and then you can repurpose them into IGTV. However, I would also publish IGTV that are, you know, like 3 minutes long and test those out how they work for your audience. I haven't personally had good success with them. I always have better success with, you know, carousel posts or with Instagram Reels or with my own stories. IGTV for me just has never really been a hit. So I will be still testing it out in a different strategy in 2021, but just keep that in mind. For every single person's account is going to be slightly different. And now Instagram Stories is the place where you really nurture your community. I would not be focusing on your stories to grow an audience and like tag your location or hashtags. I do feel like it's time consuming. I've always found that just adding hashtags to every single story is just kind of annoying, and I don't always see a good payback from that. So I would mostly focus on just communicating with your audience. So as you attract more new followers, you want to make sure that you talk to them, right? So they get to know you, they get to know your business, they get to see kind of behind the scenes, they get to see some mini trainings from you, so you can jump on the stories and, you know, talk about some mini trainings and talk about different tips and strategies, what you're working on, what's working, what's not working, right? So that's something to do as far as Instagram. So that's kind of the strategy in a nutshell. So weekly content, or should I say multiple times a week, and outbound engagement. Now, the third addition to my content strategy for 2021 that I also highly recommend to do for you is, drumroll, TikTok. So I know this is kind of crazy. I have been one of those people who have been kind of loving and hating TikTok. I would always just be like watching and then not really watching, and then, you know, we've had this whole drama about, is TikTok gonna stay alive? I did a video right here talking about if it's gonna make it, and I can't really remember what I said in that video, but I kind of did feel like it was not gonna survive. But it did, right? It's still there. Nobody really banned it. It is banned in certain countries, like in India and I think in a couple others, but it's very much still out there in the United States, and the algorithm is still just as good. So here's my strategy with TikTok. I've been learning a lot about it quite recently, as I do see a lot of business owners and social media experts jumping in there, because here's the thing. I already have talked about the short-paced content or fast-paced content as far as Instagram Reels and, you know, YouTube Shorts. TikTok is the same freaking thing, but with a better algorithm, right? And here's the strategy for TikTok that I'm going to be implementing starting January. I'm already kind of like warming up there, and I've already seen some, you know, pretty interesting growth so far by just posting daily and not really missing days, and also kind of engaging on the platform as well, and, you know, showing the TikTok that I'm active there, because you do always have to show that you're an active user on the platform, otherwise they're not really going to show you any kind of love. But with TikTok, I do see a lot of creators mention that you have to be posting more than once a day, and to me that's kind of a scary part, because I'm like 2-3 times a day of video. But here's the thing, if you publish IG Reels already, if you publish YouTube Shorts, if you already have videos that you have published over the years, even your Instagram Stories, mini trainings, you can take 4 videos, 15 seconds each, republish them to TikTok, add some hashtags, add a brief description, boom, you're done, right? And you just spread them out throughout the day. So I may have to do a separate video on TikTok as I get more experience and as I get more traction there. So let me know down below into the comments if you do want to see a video like that. But that's a big thing that I'm adding this year because I'm kind of cutting off Facebook, right? So and here's something I also want to tell you. There are two kinds of content that you're going to be posting on TikTok. So there's going to be evergreen content that, you know, let's say a mini training where you talk about like video marketing tips, for example, right? So this is something that's generally, it's evergreen, like it's relevant today, it's relevant 6 months from now, right? And then there are going to be trending topics or like real-time content where there's a trending music or there's a trending trend, right? That kind of sounded funky. So there are going to be things that are happening right now that you have to get on the train to get yourself onto that trend and record that video like today. And then you also can record reactions to different videos that for some reason do tend to go viral, which is kind of interesting. Like some people literally all they do on TikTok is they react to other people's content. And here's the best part about TikTok that I found, and Instagram Reels as well. A lot of the times you don't even have to be speaking on video. You don't even have to be the original content creator. Somebody starts a trend and then people get on it and it's there, right? So you basically get on the train and you don't even necessarily create original content. Everybody just uses the same sound, right? But everybody positions their video in a different way. So, and your personality is going to shine through those videos, and that's really the best part. So again, TikTok is huge. And it's not just for kids. Like, you have to go and research their demographics, but I have seen a lot of relationship coaches, I've seen educators, I've seen doctors, I've seen psychiatrists, people from all kinds of different niches, authors, I mean even strippers. I guess it's not really relevant for the video, but people do promote their business on TikTok in many different ways. I mean, especially people who do social media tips and tricks and all kinds of things in that manner. And the other niche that I've seen, health and wellness, if you can do tutorials or anything like that, or trainings, or how to lose weight, or like there's Pilates training and all that kind of stuff. And if you have an e-commerce business as well, I've seen people go viral with the t-shirt businesses, with Shopify stores, jewelry, all kinds of different businesses. So if you're already creating, let's say, Instagram Reels, you may as well get over on TikTok, because I will say this, TikTok does have a better functionality as far as the overall platform goes compared to Instagram, because Instagram Reels are still kind of failing you. TikTok has more filters, more music options, more editing features. So to me, I just feel like it's a little bit better. So I do record everything on TikTok first. And not to mention, you store everything on the TikTok draft section. And this is a kind of an interesting thing that I noticed. I upgraded my phone this year, and I did have some videos in my draft on Instagram. Lost all of them when I switched the phones. Didn't lose a single thing on TikTok. So I was like, thank God, because I already batched some videos for TikTok. So I was like, thank God they stayed, because I totally did not save them on my phone just yet. So there you go. That's as far as TikTok. Alright, so far you've learned all about my social media strategy for 2021. We've talked about YouTube. You've also learned about my Instagram strategy. We talked a lot about the short form content, which is YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikTok. Keep in mind that YouTube Shorts are 60 seconds, TikToks are 60 seconds, and Instagram Reels so far are 30 seconds, but I do feel like they are going to be 60 seconds eventually, because Instagram does want to compete and dominate over every single other social media platform, obviously. So that's something that I do feel like is going to change down the line, possibly in 2021 at some point. But I do recommend for you to focus on that short form content, because it's quick, it's way easier than a video like this, which is probably going to be well over 30 minutes, at least that's how I feel, unless I edit it out and, make myself talk faster or something like that. So, that's something that I would recommend for you to do. Now, if you're curious on, Jay, like what kind of ideas do I create? What do I talk about? So I did create a whole new PDF cheat sheet with like hundreds of ideas for your Instagram reels, so it looks like this. So definitely go ahead and download it. The link is below in the description box, so check it out and feel free to share this video with anybody who you think this might be helpful. So with that being said, I really hope you picked up some good tips and strategies that you can incorporate in your own strategy. So if you did enjoy this, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the like, and let me know down below in the comments which was your favorite strategy. And if you have any other questions with regards to social media, I would be more than happy to share them. And in the meantime, check out these videos right here from 2020. And with that being said, I hope you have an amazing day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.